Farm YouTube channel, doing a little bit of a farm. We're talking about some updates that we have. I am walking up to our garden right now. We have been working a lot of the last couple weeks on getting our first hoop house built. We started on it a couple months ago, had to take a break to work on our orchard, pardon the burn barrel there. We put in 88 fruit trees. We have 3 different kinds of apples, 3 kinds of peaches, 2 kinds of cherries, 2 kinds of figs, 2 kinds of Asian pear, 2 kinds of pomegranate, apricots, and currants. I think that's everything. So yeah, 88 fruit trees, and then we put a bunch of grass and clover in so that we could have something other than weeds growing between the trees. So some of the trees are doing pretty well. Some of them are taking their time. Ashley went through and checked, and apparently they're all alive, so that's a good thing. We don't want our trees to be dying. So this is one of our apple trees. It's got a few branches, a bunch of leaves have grown on it. Got a bunch more back there. I'm not really going to talk about the fruit a whole lot right now. What I am going to do is I'm going to go into the garden and I'm going to show you our new high tunnel that we just finished building and do a quick little tour. And apparently our dog has been trapped in the garden this whole time. Hopefully she has not done anything too destructive, because that's why she's not allowed in the garden, is because she likes to lay on plants and kill them. Okay, let's see here. We've got some lettuce growing here. We've got a 355 Salanova lettuce growing. 4 different varieties of lettuce that we're going to be putting into a spring mix. So here is stuff to do a few modifications. We need to add a handle to this left door because it's really difficult to open. Ow, I'm pinching my fingers and it hurts really badly. Oh my goodness. Okay, got the high tunnel open. So what we did today is started building our beds inside the high tunnel. So we have a trellising system. So we've got 3 steel cables run across the length of this hoop house. It's 52 feet long and 20 feet wide. So we have 3 steel cables. So we're going to be able to do 3 tomato beds. We have 3 24-inch 2-foot beds that we're going to be growing tomatoes in. And then we have 18-inch walkways. So we have mulch down. So all of the mulch you see is for the walkways. And on past the 3 beds on either side, we have an 18-inch grow bed and then a little 8-inch grow bed as well. And so we have like a 4-inch mulch layer along the side of the hoop house to kind of keep critters and weeds away from the edge of the hoop house. That little 8-inch grow bed we're going to be planting sweet alyssum, which is a beneficial flower. Its main benefit is keeping pests away. So we're going to have that along the sides of the high tunnel to keep pests away. Even though we have insect netting, so the sides are actually rolled up right now. I'll show you how those work in just a moment. The sides are rolled up right now, but we have this insect screen that helps keep the bugs out. So that hopefully our pest damage will be significantly reduced since we don't use pesticides here on our farm. I'm not sure exactly what we're going to be putting in the 18-inch beds just yet. But in addition to the tomatoes in these 24-inch beds, we are going to be intercropping with some herbs and maybe some lettuce, depending on the time of year. So the first 4 feet of the hoop house is just mulch. We don't have our grow beds in the first 4 feet, mostly so that we can have kind of like a staging area. We can have a little table in here where we can put our tools and our drinks. And then we'll be able to use the other side for put our carts. So as we're harvesting, we have room to put our stuff that's not in a garden bed or in a walkway. So the only thing we've done so far for building the beds themselves is we've put down a layer of chicken manure. So all of this right here is chicken manure that we pulled out of our chicken coop, and it's composted. So it's going to add a lot of really good nutrients. We still have the stakes in the lines. We used twine to measure out and put the beds in place. We have a smaller door on the end here that's a little bit easier to open than the double door on the main door, which is kind of frustrating. But you know, it is what it is. I'll show you the really cool thing. So on this door, we put in a cane bolt. See, so basically I will awkwardly do this with one hand. We've got this bolt that goes here, and then we have a little piece of conduit here. I'll flip around, might be easier to do it that way. So we have this little piece of conduit in the ground so that the cane bolt has a place to go and the door stays open so that we can go in and out freely. So yeah, pretty cool. We have a fan over there. We don't have it plugged in just yet. We have a thermostat that we need to connect to it. So basically, once it gets hot enough to be harmful to the plants, the fan will kick in and it will help keep the temperature down a little bit. So in the wintertime, when it's cold, we have these plastic sides that we're able to roll down. We have this crank here to easily lower the plastic sides, help trap the heat in. But right now it's really warm, so I'm going to crank it back up, allow good airflow. Pretty nifty upgrade on the hoop house. So the first 4 feet of the side is this plastic panel. It's called a wind panel. Basically, when this plastic is rolled down, there'll be a place for the plastic to sit so that there's less chance of a breeze to go in and be harmful to the plants that don't want cold air going on them. And also, it creates a bit of a windbreak just so that there's less chance for any wind damage to occur to the hoop house itself. So I'm going to go back and close. Oh, so opposite the fan, we have this shutter. So cool air can come in and the hot air can go out with the fan. I'm going to go ahead and close this up. So on this side of the hoop house, we only have a 2-foot layer of mulch. So this is mostly just to have some walk space around the plants. We don't plan on putting anything other than our bodies as we're walking around the beds. So the next step to building our beds is we're going to put down some sand that we got from a local lake that was dredged last year. So there are going to be lots of minerals and some organics in that sand that will just add to the nutrients of the soil. And I'll go ahead and close this back up, maybe. So we got this hoop house from Bootstrap Farmer. This is not sponsored in any way. And we're pretty happy with the quality of the hoop house. The instructions to build it, on the other hand, had a lot to be desired. And we're actually building another one right here. It's going to be the same size, 52 feet long and 20 feet wide. It's about 12 feet tall. It's going to be almost identical to this other hoop house that we just finished, except we're not putting the trellising system in there because we're not going to be growing tomatoes in that hoop house. So it is going to not have the trusses that add some extra support to the roof, and it's not going to have the horizontal bars that go above the door frames, and it's not going to have the cable going across for a trellising system. So we'll be doing a lot of peppers in there. They don't need the same kind of trellising that tomatoes do because they don't get as tall. We have a few other things growing here in the garden. Been working on our beds. Oh, back to the hoop house. The beds, after that lake sand that I talked about, we're going to put a layer of topsoil from our property. So yeah, we've got some really cool crimson clover. It's an annual clover, whereas most clovers like white and red clover are perennials. This is a really great nitrogen fixer, and we use it. We actually planted a bunch of it last year in our walkways to have like a living mulch for our walkways. and not all of it died, even though it's supposed to be winter killed. So that's pretty cool. All this right here is garlic. This actually is from 2 falls ago. We thought we picked it all this past summer. Apparently didn't, because this fall, um, they're starting to come up a little bit, and then this spring it's just taken off like crazy. So yeah, we have a bunch of garlic in here. When harvesting garlic, you don't want to harvest it when it's green like this. That would be considered green garlic, which nothing wrong with that, but your typical garlic bulbs that you want that you can dry and store for many, many months, you want to wait until the greens die off and start to turn brown, kind of limp over. That's when you know they're ready. Um, this past fall, we planted about 3,000 cloves of garlic. So it starts right here on our fence. Don't mind all the weeds on the other side of the fence. And then along that fence, and then also this other fence over here, about 3,000 garlic were planted this past year. And we put them along the fence line as a deterrent for pests, because the garlic smells like garlic. And a lot of animals don't really care for that smell. So in theory, it is creating a protective border to the more delicious things inside the garden. Now the hoop houses are going to be awesome protection against pests, because they're not going to be able to get in. Maybe a few bugs will get in through the vent, like of the shutter and the fan. It is what it is. A few is one thing, complete infestation is another. When we were weeding inside the hoop house yesterday, found a lot of grubs. Japanese beetles are really bad in this area. And we found probably like 150 to 200 grubs just in our 52 by 20 growing area. And we collected them all, and then we fed them to the chickens. They devoured them instantly, and they are turning them into eggs for us. So really cool thing about regenerative farming is that absolutely nothing goes to waste. We don't need to worry about pesticides, because we are able to get those pests, feed them to our animals, and turn them into delicious things that everybody raves about. Nothing goes to waste on the farm. All the weeds we pulled went into the compost, and any seeds that are in there, which there shouldn't be at this time of year, would be cooked out and killed in the heat of the compost, and they'll turn into rich fertilizer for our garden. Chickens are probably mostly done laying. Got one chicken in the nesting box right now. The grass that they completely destroyed and ate all of this past winter is starting to grow back. So that's pretty exciting. It's starting to look a little more green in there. I just heard a pig scream, so there's probably a pig fight going on right now. Pretty typical. Let's see. I'm going to probably wrap this up in just a moment. Is there anything anybody watching wants to see right now? I'd be happy to take you on a tour. If you want to see the cows or the pigs or the sheep, just let me know if there's anything you want to see before I end this. I'm going to go take a look at the cows, and might as well keep the camera rolling while I go down and check on the cows. So we have 3 cows, meaning a female cattle that has given birth and is in milk, or has been in milk at some point in time. One of our cows, she is our primary dairy cow. She is not nursing a baby right now. Her baby, or most recent baby, is a steer that we are raising out for beef. And we milk her every morning. We're getting on average about 1.5 gallons from her every milking. Once we have fewer projects going in, we're going to start milking her twice a day, which will probably only yield us like 2 to 2.5 gallons a day. But that'll be good, because we can't keep our milk in stock. We have another cow who had a baby in December, so her baby's about 4 months old now. He's still drinking on her, and he is plump. He's a bull calf. He has not been castrated yet, so he's not a steer. But he is going to be raised for beef as well. And we have another cow who just gave birth a 1.5 weeks ago. She had a little heifer, little female girl, and she is freaking adorable. Her name's Angel, and she has been hanging out with Mama, doing really well. She's thin because she's a newborn, but she will be adding a lot of good weight from Mama's milk, and then as she starts to forage and eat. I put a round bale of hay over in that area, so the cows decided that they are only going to hang out in that area. They'll come down for some water, and that's about it. Maybelle, our dairy cow, she is in her own paddock back there. Looks like she is just working on some hay or some grass or something, because animals like to eat. That's pretty much all they want to do ever, is eat and drink and procreate when the time comes, when they're in heat. So anybody interested in me going into the fence and getting a closer look at the cows? Got a few people viewing live right now. Anybody interested? Okay. I guess if you want to see some cows, we have some shorts that I posted of our cows. We post a lot of pictures on Instagram and Facebook. And we've also recently gotten onto TikTok. Took me a few years to come around, but someone finally convinced me to start a TikTok. So there's a Riggin Farm TikTok as well right now. We've been posting some short videos there. We've done a couple live streams on that platform as well. But if nobody wants to see any of the other animals, I'll go ahead and end this. But comment below if you are interested in getting a closer look at pigs or chickens or cows, sheep, fish. We have tilapia. We do some aquaponics. Got some tilapia and some koi in the tank. All right. If no one's interested, I'm going to go ahead and end this live stream and see you later.